Today there is a seminar about ASEAN community in fighting coronavirus. What's happened?
So first of all, this live session was organized by ISIS Thailand, which is short from Institute of Security and International Studies. So two professors, Dr. Thitinan Phongsuthirath, the director of ISIS Thailand, as well as Kun Gawi Jongkithawon, the senior fellow at ISIS Thailand, were discussing how ASEAN countries have worked together in terms of fighting with the pandemic, as well as what ASEAN should be doing from now on in order to become a stronger region that managed to emerge from COVID-19.
And so far, how have they evaluated ASEAN in coping with the crisis?
So far, based on the two professors, they mentioned that ASEAN has been working together to fight with the pandemic. So recently, there have been foreign ministers as well as senior officials from many areas, from public health, defense, tourism, as well as economic related agencies. So they held discussions to set up a work plan. So this is something really big, according to the professors, in their opinion. So this is something really big in terms of fighting with the pandemic. Besides this, the ASEAN leaders are also planning to hold a teleconference next week to work out on a more specific plan so that ASEAN can fight COVID-19 together as a group.
So it means mostly ASEAN are on the same page in terms of try to help one another to fight the coronavirus outbreak.
Exactly.
And what else do they like to do in terms of like civil society or people of ASEAN? Do they have any recommendation for people of ASEAN?
So basically, what the professors actually suggested, what ASEAN should be doing right now is to maintain its status as the hub of the global value chain, or else the Southeast Asian economy will be dropped dead, according to the professors. So they have mentioned that the ASEAN economy is always relying on being such a community, being production-based, and if their supply chains are disrupted, so if they're disrupted, ASEAN might lose its business attraction or achieving in becoming a production hub. So what they really have to do right now is to maintain its status. They also have to focus on the ASEAN connectivity, especially with the people-to-people connectivity. And most importantly, ASEAN has to mobilize very quickly. For example, if other countries need extra funds, especially with responsive COVID-19 funds, officials must really come out with a special plan to help them as soon as possible.
And Kunnat, this year Vietnam is chair of ASEAN. What's their role in particular? Have they been quite proactive in terms of trying to solve the situation? What's their role?
Vietnam has been very proactive in terms of promoting cooperation between ASEAN countries, especially about COVID-19. They have been also very proactive with connecting with ASEAN +3 countries, especially which is China, South Korea, and Japan. These countries have a very strong connection within the group. And especially, these countries experienced the outbreak before anyone else. China, of course, even South Korea with the Shincheonji mass gatherings, or even Japan, who recently declared a state of emergency. So ASEAN +3 has a very strong connection. So Vietnam, as the chairmanship this year, can use this opportunity to connect with ASEAN +3 even better, because we all share the same sympathy in terms of the crisis at the moment.
So Kun Thepchai, it's time to prove the spirit of ASEAN in order to fight the coronavirus outbreak altogether.
Yeah, it's a very good opportunity for ASEAN to show the so-called ASEAN solidarity. I don't think in most recent decades there hasn't been any more challenging situation than what we're facing now.
That's right.
It's definitely a very good opportunity for ASEAN and other countries to work together as a group to fight the pandemic together. And the professors also mentioned about the East Asia Summit dialogues. The EAS dialogue will become more important, especially for this year, because they will all be discussing issues on emergencies all together. So hopefully this crisis will help reunite EAS members in terms of its discussions, dialogues, and come up with action plans together so that they can fight with the pandemic and as well as future pandemics that might come up in the near future.
So next week we have to keep our look at teleconference that Kunat mentioned that they
Yes.
will have ASEAN meeting online next week.
Yes, around next week. So if I remember on top of my head, it's around April 14th. So we can expect a teleconference between ASEAN leaders on their action plan. So what they're going to do from now on, especially during such a crisis, we have to see what they have in store and how they're going to tackle the situation as a group in the ASEAN region.
Okay.
There will be something new, Kunata. There will be something new for ASEAN to have a online summit for the ASEAN leaders.
Yes, right now it's happened everywhere, online meeting, online seminar discussion, that how we can bring it on all together in this crisis.